Finally, the Washington Capitals actually win a game beyond 3 periods of play. Let's get into it and feel the release.
Your Locked On Capitals, your daily podcast on the Washington Capitals. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Locked On Capitals. I am your host, as always, the insider of the insiders, Tyler Kuehl, telling you that the Washington Capitals finally have half-really figured it out how to win a game, and a game that doesn't go 60 minutes. It goes beyond 60 minutes. Yeah, they somehow finally figured it out when they beat the Anaheim Ducks in a skills competition. Technically, they tied, and they got an extra point because Gary Bettman. But we'll get to all that. We'll get to the Kuehl Kaps, and we'll take a look around the league here because we have a few days off to do that here on Locked On Capitals because they don't play until Friday. But guys, I got to tell you that today's episode is brought to you by Omaha Steaks. The holidays are right around the corner, and finding the perfect gift is getting a little tricky, and Omaha Steaks makes it easy to send friends and family an unforgettable gift guaranteed to be loved. Go to omahasteaks.com and enter NHL under the search bar to order the perfect gift package. So, first of all, thank you all very much for making Locked On Capitals your first listen and first watch of the day every day. Listen on your favorite podcatcher and watch on the Locked On Capitals YouTube channel. Yes, that's right. You can watch me in my hair that's not quite, holding together this morning. Yeah, I know. I didn't do a night of show because I was busy and stuff. So I decided that, hey, I gotta do a thing in the morning. So yeah, coffee's right here. See this lovely cup of coffee? It's I'd say about halfway finished there, which was pretty much how the Washington Capitals seemed last night. The way that game was going against the Anaheim Ducks in the 4-3 shootout win. Like I said, skills competition win for the Washington Capitals. All right, there we go. So let's talk about the game. Very even start. I really thought Anaheim, and this is what I said on yesterday's show. I said that the Anaheim Ducks were going to come out hard. This was their first of a 5-game road trip. They wanted to come out and play and try to get points right off the hop, because by the time you get to games 4 and 5, even though, yes, for us East Coasters, I'm like, what's the big deal? I'm like, remember when we lost to Seattle, Washington did? And the final game of that road trip, we thought it was the end of the world. Well, that's because the Caps were a little bit tired from playing a West Coast trip. I.e., this is why the Ducks had to come out hard here. But I thought they played really smart, really good hockey. The shots were pretty even. Ilya Samsonov had to make a couple big saves. Johnny Gibson made a few big saves in the game. Both goaltenders looked really good. I don't really point the finger at any of the goaltenders in this game. When we go through the goals, you'll kind of know what I'm saying here. But first goal of the game starts off with Alexander Ovechkin, of all people, setting up a goal. Who would have thought? Ovechkin is able to give it to Justin Schultz. Justin Schultz sees Tom Wilson, feeds him in front. Tommy Wilson, his 9th goal of the season, makes it 1-0 later on in the first period. That's how we would end 20 minutes of play. Once again, I thought it was a pretty even start. We go to the second period, though, and all of a sudden, I literally I come back. I was in the kitchen or in the bathroom. I don't remember, but I just remember coming back into the room, and all of a sudden, it's 1-1. I had to rewind to figure out what happened and figure out how Josh Manson just got left alone open in front, made it 1-1, and I'm just like, oh, okay, this is a thing. This is going to be a tight hockey game. We knew this. And then just a few minutes later, it's Lars Eller, TJ Oshie setting up a nice little play here, and all of a sudden, Carl Haglin is able to pot his first goal of the season. Finally, Carl Haglin, former Michigan Wolverine, by the way, scoring his first of the season, making it 2-1 Caps, giving them their second lead of the game. Cool little side note here. I don't know if you guys really paid attention much during the post-game last night, but Sergei Ovechkin, Ovi's little boy, said that Carl was going to score. He told me he was going to score a goal here. Paraphrasing, of course. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cute and whatnot. But then all of a sudden he does score. And it's like, holy cow. All of a sudden this kid's all of a sudden the guy to talk to if you ever need a goal, because my goodness. But huge goal for Carl Haglin, gets the monkey off his back. And then just a few minutes later, Sonny Milano gets a goal. And I'm just, wow. It just seemed like, and Trevor Zegras, another great play. 15th assist of the season, second of the game for Trevor Zegras, by the way. So it's 2-2 later, about, what was it, the 13-minute mark, whatever the heck it was. Made it 2-2, and the Ducks are coming on hard at that point. They were really pressing. They'd really started taking the momentum towards the Caps, and it led up to a goal by Vinny Lettieri, and that was his third goal of the season. It made it 3-2. It just was maybe a couple minutes later. I'm like, oh boy, this is not going the way we wanted this one, guys. Cam Fowler and Troy Terry, by the way, each of their 11th assists of the season. At this point, I'm like, this is how this game is going to go. Now, granted, it's only the second period, a whole period of hockey left. Well, then all of a sudden, final minute of play in the second period, thinking it's going to go down with a 3-2 deficit for the Washington Capitals heading into the third period. Alex Ovechkin just somehow gets the puck in the left faceoff circle, and everyone's like, here it comes. Goal number 21 on the season. We're all eyeballing it. Here comes Ovi just skating across the slot. He has a chance. He's pretty much one-on-one with Gibson. And Ovechkin does like the Charlie Conway move from D3 when he drops it back to a defenseman. Johnny Carlson creeping in from the point, gets stopped in the first shot, but able to follow up, beats John Gibson for his 6th goal of the season. Ovechkin's 2nd assist of the game, 21st on the season. Johnny Carlson, Johnny be good, making it 3-3 before the end of the second period. We go to the third period. Lots of good chances on both sides. Each team looking for an opportunity, but neither team wanting to give up the big one. Shots were 10-8 Anaheim. We go to overtime. Literally, guys, you could have fallen asleep, probably gone to the bathroom for the entire 5 minutes of overtime and not missed a darn thing. You wouldn't have missed anything. One shot on goal in total. Listen, I am one of those people. I love a 3-on-3 overtime. I remember the 15-16 season. I was watching Colorado play Toronto. Now, this would have been the Colorado Avalanche. Would have been Patrick Waugh's last season. And the first year of Mike Babcock in Toronto. Deion Phaneuf was still there. This was the year they finished last and up getting Austin Matthews in the expansion draft. Well, what ends up happening is Jarome Iginla, this I'm going to go with it here. Trust me, I'm going to tie this back in. Just stick with me here. Jarome Iginla and Deion Phaneuf get matching minors with about 22 seconds left in regulation. And what ends up happening is, on contrary to the usual protocol for this, instead of having just two guys go to the box for 2 minutes and 5-on-5, they suggest the refs say that they're two separate penalties at the same time. So it's 4-on-4 at the end of regulation, which means we start overtime at 3-on-3. And Gord Miller and Ray Ferraro were calling the game. I remember this very vividly. And of course, 3-on-3, just wide open ice, right? Pond hockey. This was, don't forget, 6 years ago now. And the overtime starts, and the Leafs had, I think, I don't even know. This was before like Nylander and all them got called up. I would say they had like Brad Boyes. I think they had Michael Grabner was out there. Kadri may have been there. And the Avalanche, Landeskog, McKinnon may have still, McKinnon was there, I think. And maybe Eric Johnson, if I'm not mistaken, was starting off. And it just started off just guns a-blazing. Chances on both ends. If I'm not mistaken, I think Reimer was in net, and it may have been Varlamov for the Avs. I just remember the game going back and forth willy-nilly. And because at that point, there was the discussion that the NHL was going to move to 3-on-3, try to get rid of having so many overtimes, because 4-on-4 was kind of clustered, and teams were, it was a little bit more hectic and a little bit more tight, and they wanted to be a little more wide open. And it was because the AHL was experimenting with that during that season. And Ray Ferraro says, how do the Board of Governors say no to this? Because it was wide open, fun hockey. The crowd, it was at Pepsi Center at the time, not Ball Arena, Pepsi Center. And they were just going nuts. The fans were. It was exciting hockey. I think the game ended up going to a shootout anyways, because after the two guys came back from the box, they had to play 4-on-4 the rest of the way. But regardless, it was a very fun game to watch, a very fun segment to watch. And that's why the NHL almost use that example and said, this is why we're doing 3-on-3. And so they did. And early on, it was fun and exciting. But now it's become strategized and annoying and, dare I say, boring 95% of the time. If I see one more gosh darn neutral zone regroup in overtime, like even the Caps, I get it. You want to have possession of the puck. It's like in lacrosse where you take a shot You get the ball back, the shot clock resets, and you literally just all back out and just pass it around the horn again. That's literally what it feels like. That's why that's why, dare I say, sometimes box lacrosse can be pretty entertaining in itself because you really can't go anywhere. You're inside a hockey rink. I love field lacrosse too. I love, I like watch the college lacrosse championships all the time. I love it. But regardless, that's my point, is the fact that, we don't have an opportunity at goal, not a good clean look. We don't want to give up the puck. Let's just come back out and try to break in again. It's the stupidest thing ever. I truly believe that the NHL, because I've talked to a lot of people about this, and a lot of other people have expressed similar viewpoints, that the NHL should try to find a way to institute a take back rule in overtime, to make it more entertaining, to make it more exciting, to force teams to create offensive chances. Whether it be you can't take it out past the blue line by yourself, or you can't take it past the red line, because obviously they go all the way back to their own zone sometimes to try to break back in. Something like that. Because the fact of the matter is this: you need to find a way to make it exciting, because it's getting stupid. It's really dumb when you only have one shot on goal, when there's only 6 skaters on the ice. There should be 15 shots. It's ridiculous. So anyways, one shot on goal means nothing. We go to a shootout, another skills competition for the Washington Capitals, second time in a week. And you just kind of wonder what's going to happen, because, the Caps lost the last one. It didn't really go their way. So Troy Terry scores first right off the hop of the Ducks. You're like, oh boy, here we go. Then Oshie gets stopped. TJ Oshie, who is typically, not last year, but typically a shootout specialist, doesn't work. Trevor Zegras gets stopped. Evgeny Kuznetsov gets stopped. Kevin Shattenkirk, of all people, 15 for 40, John Walton said on the broadcast last night on the radio feed. I was like, really? 15 for 40? Kevin Shattenkirk, though, gets stopped. So it comes down to Daniel Sprong, who just straight up missed the net in the last game. Last week against Chicago. And he scores. Awesome. Perfect. We're still alive. Go to a 4th round. Ricard Raquel scores. Oh, boy. All right. Well, this is it. Ovi's, he's okay at this thing. And, backhander, he scores. Okay, cool. All right, nice. And then Sonny Milano, who scored in the game, he's like, this is perfect for him. And he misses the net. Okay. Here we go. John Carlson? Okay, let's give it a shot. He comes in, he buries it. Johnny be good in the shootout as well. He scores in the game, scores in the skills competition. Caps get the extra point. Hoorah. 16th win of the season for the Caps. Not a fun win by any stretch of the imagination. Not a perfect game. The Caps actually get outshot in this game, 34-29. Obviously, the shootout shots don't really count, but it was a good effort at Anaheim. Peter Laviolette said, you know what? With all the games we've lost, 6 previously, beyond regulation, 5 in overtime, 1 in the shootout last week against Chicago, he said that it's good to get these extra points here, even though they did not play their best game. So have a few days off for rest. They're taking Tuesday off before they come back to practice tomorrow. We'll kind of give a little bit more of a wrap up in this one, some more of the numbers and whatnot, and give our Kuehl Kaps of the game kind of pretty early on here, guys. But I got to tell you, what is your favorite holiday memory you have with Omaha Steaks? Do you have one? Well, you can make one, because holidays are right around the corner, and finding the perfect gift is a little tricky, and Omaha Steaks makes it easy to send friends and family an unforgettable gift guaranteed to be loved. Go to omahasteaks.com right now and enter NHL into the search bar to order the perfect gift package. You'll get $99.99. You get 24 entrees, including the world-famous bacon-wrapped filet mignon, chicken breasts, sides, desserts, and so much more. And when you use the promo code NHL, you also get an additional 8 Omaha Steaks burgers free with the order. We've all heard the reports about shortages and shipping delays, so do not wait. Order the perfect gift package today at omahasteaks.com to get 8 free burgers by entering the code NHL and achieve gifting greatness with Omaha Steaks. Incredible flavor, incredible value, and 100% guaranteed. Once again, that's omahasteaks.com, keyword NHL. And also, guys, you listen to podcasts every day for the power of knowledge, and you're going to switch to Boost Mobile for the power of saving money. Because with Boost, you get the power of a free 5G phone, so you can listen to all the latest episodes here of Locked On Caps, the power of 3 unlimited data lines for $30 a month per line, so your family can harness all of that brain power as well, and the power of one of America's largest 5G networks, so you can do it all at the speed of 5G. And with all that money you'll save and all that knowledge you'll gain, just how powerful will you become? Switch to Boost Mobile and find out, and get a free Samsung Galaxy A32 5G when you switch to one of America's largest 5G networks. More power to save at Boost Mobile. Free phone limited to new customers and one per line. Additional restrictions apply. Offers coverage not available everywhere for all phones or networks. See boostmobile.com for the details. So, once again, Caps beat the Ducks in a shootout. I'm excited that they finally got a win past overtime. But here's the thing. I once again, sorry, I'm just not a big fan of the shootout. That's all it is, but it's okay. Alexander Ovechkin, according to Capitals PR, some post-game notes from this game. Ovechkin recorded 2 assists against Anaheim, marking his 115th career multi-assist game. He's on a pace to record 66 assists over the 82-game season, which would mark a single season high, the most he's ever had. Remember that last time we talked about when he had 100 points, 2009-2010. He had 59 assists that season. Also, Ilya Samsonov, solid game, not amazing, but 31 saves for the Russian netminder. He is now 11-1-1 on the season, marking that he is 6th in the league in wins this season with 11. Caps are also 9-1-4 at Capital One Arena now with the win. 4 overtime losses, not great. Post-regulation losses, I should say. And also, TJ Oshie recorded, like I said, an assist on that the Carl Haglin goal, 5-0. A perfect 5-0 record for the Capitals when Oshie records a point, which is good because, he hasn't been in the lineup a whole lot this year. So it's good to know that when he is in and not injured, he is effective. Let's give our Kuehl Kaps of the night here. I'm going to really start off with an easy one here. Johnny Carlson. My goodness, this guy, I don't know how much more I can really talk about the guy. He's tied for third on the team with Tom Wilson in points with 14, 6 goals, 18 assists. As I mentioned, scores the tying goal late in the second period. Could turn the momentum back to Washington, or at least made it even to the point where they were going to be able to move on and play in that third period with the not having to play desperate or not have to play kind of panic hockey to try to tie that game. So big goal for him. Gets the shootout winner as well. That's huge for him, and he's just been great at both ends, and I thought he's been really solid. I'm going to give my second Kuehl Cap here to Carl Haglin. Carl Haglin finally getting off the schneid. He's been kind of bouncing around a little bit in the lineup, hasn't really found a good footing. Maybe this goal will kind of give him that little bit of confidence. He can get back. Obviously, he's a bottom 6 guy in this Capitals roster. But sometimes when you get one, you get a lot, and I really think that's a huge thing for him. And shout out, of course, to, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, did Connor McMichael get a point in this one? I thought he did. He wasn't going to be my Kuehl Cap, but I was going to be one that I mentioned. I think they took one away because, initially he had 1 assist on the game I thought I saw. But regardless, I thought he played really well. Did McMichael. His minutes continue to climb up a little bit. In fact, all of the youngsters getting a little bit of time here. Brett Leeson and Alexei Protas and Beck Malentine all played close to 10 minutes in this hockey game. McMichael played a little over 10 minutes. Daniel Sprong played only 11 minutes. Alex Ovechkin and Evgeny Kuznetsov combined played close to 48 minutes combined in this game, the two of them, which isn't, to no one's surprise. And, we talk about how good Johnny Carlson was. How about Dmitry Orlov? He didn't get a point in this game, but he played the most minutes, almost 27 minutes tonight for Orlov. And you know what? He's trying to make it known that he wants to play for Russia if the NHL goes to the Olympics. And I think he could really be a key contributor for that team because one of the problems that team has always had is lack of defense. And if Orlov is continuing to progress the way he is, he may be the number 1 guy for the Russian Olympic team, dare I say. Who can my top guy, I don't want it to be Ovechkin, but that's pretty much it, right? He had 2 assists and 2 really good setups as well, especially that one for Johnny Carlson. I'll give Ovi the other one. I think the big thing or the reason why is because Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid are running away with pretty much everything right now in terms of how good the 3 are. Now, the only thing that Connor McDavid is not in the top 3 of is goals. That's because Andrew Mangiapane, hello, Mr. Calgary Flame, Hockey Canada World Championship hero last year, has 17 goals. That puts him 3rd. However, the pretty much the 3 big ones are Draisaitl, McDavid, and Alexander Ovechkin. Draisaitl has 43 points this year so far, McDavid 42, and right behind them, 41, Alex Ovechkin. In order to find the guy that has the fourth most points in the league, you have to go all the way down to 31 points, where Colorado's Nazem Kadri currently sits. Goals, Draisaitl 21, Ovi 20, Mangiapane 17. Assist, McDavid 26, what a shocker. 22 for Draisaitl, 21 Nazem Kadri, tied with I'll just read off the names. Nazem Kadri, Jonathan Huberdeau, Mikhail Granlund. Holy cow, he's playing now. He's having a great year down in Nashville. Victor Hedman and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins all tied for third with 21 points. The fact of the matter is this. Ovechkin is having a heater of a start of a season. And we're all just sitting here. It's like, when's it going to end? Because I don't mean to be negative Nancy about this, but that's the long and the short of it, guys. When is it going to end with Ovechkin? Because not everyone can have a sprint of a season where they're consistently putting up points at the same pace. Everyone has a dip in some sort. Everyone hits a slump at some point of the season. Everyone does. McDavid at some point will. McDavid will somehow miss scoring points in 3 straight games or something like that. Ovi may not score a goal for 4 games. Like that, there's a chance that's going to happen eventually. But when? That's going to be the hard part in all this. And when that does happen, how will the Caps respond? I know we're starting to see a little bit more depth scoring. We mentioned Haglin scoring, of course, and Tom Wilson almost hitting 10 goals. He's at 9 right now. And I kept singing the praises of Connor McMichael. I've certainly hoping TJ Oshie was really able to get some consistent games in, because he's going to be important for the offense. Obviously, Johnny Carlson's playing well in the back end. Martin Fehervari's been held off the score sheet for the last few games, but he's a guy that's really important to the success of this hockey club. So what's going to happen when Ovi stops putting up points? That's going to be the big question for this hockey club. So we'll take a quick trip around the scoreboard and the league here in just a moment's time, guys. But BetOnline, I have to remind you guys, has you covered all season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before as football season continues its march to the playoffs. College football playoffs as well. Hello, University of Michigan taking on Georgia. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all the sports and action this season. Head to their new and updated desktop or mobile website today to sign up and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit by using the promo code LOCKEDON. From basketball, football, NHL, boxing, UFC rates, your favorite Vegas casino games, do not wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 21-22 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. So, taking a look at around the scores around the National Hockey League, the Ottawa Senators win their 7th game of the season last night in Newark, knocking off the New Jersey Devils via skills competition, or more appropriately known as the Shootout. Colorado, speaking of which, handing another loss to the Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers, who just recently fired Alain Vigneault because this team is on an abysmal losing streak right now. Like, I don't know how bad a team can get right now. I thought the way Vancouver was when they fired both Travis Green and Jim Benning, literally everyone else seemed like, I thought they couldn't get any worse. Well, the Philadelphia Flyers are trying to show that, hey, we can be worse than that. They've lost 9 straight games now, guys. The only team with the worst losing streak in the National Hockey League are the New York Islanders, who are just not having a good year in general, which, of course, we had much higher expectations for the Philadelphia Flyers. Obviously, last night was not a goal-scoring problem. They scored 5. Unfortunately, Colorado scored 7. They're 8-11-4 now are the Flyers. Of course, Washington holds on to beat the Ducks in a shootout. Dallas beats Arizona up 4-1. Vancouver, maybe a little bit of a jump start with new coach Bruce Boudreau behind the bench. They shut out the LA Kings 4-0 winners last night. Pittsburgh hammers Seattle 6-1 at Clement Pledge Arena. Tonight's action, you're going to see the Toronto Maple Leafs, one of the hottest teams in the NHL, taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. However, Toronto's going to be without Jason Spezza. He still haven't heard his report on his hearing yet. He's going to be at least getting 5 games for going after Neil Pionk after Neil Pionk did not get penalized for kneeing Rasmus Sandin. Rasmus Sandin may be out for a while because of it, and Neil Pionk only got 2 games for trying to end the guy's season. That's okay. Tampa Bay taking on Montreal up at Centre Bell tonight. Montreal looking for their 7th win of the season. The Islanders desperate to try to get on off of their losing schneid. They'll have a good chance, though. Ottawa's on the second half of back-to-back. They actually had to go back home for the game tonight. Detroit hosting Nashville in a, dare I say, anticipated matchup. 3rd place Nashville and Toronto hanging in there at 4th in the Atlantic Division. Anaheim has second half of their back-to-back. They take on Buffalo in Buffalo tonight. 7:30 puck drop there. St. Louis hosting Florida, and once again, another matchup that I was not expecting to have a, kind of a marquee feel to it, but St. Louis is playing all right now. Winnipeg hot off their win against Toronto, taking on the Carolina Hurricanes at home tonight. The Chicago Blackhawks hosting the New York Rangers in could be an interesting hockey game. The Rangers trying to stay up towards the top of the Metropolitan Division. Two of the best teams out west, the Central leading Minnesota Wild and second place Edmonton Oilers right now. I had to make sure that Calgary had not given up that lead as of yet. And that'll be a big one up in Edmonton. Speaking of Calgary, they go down to Cali to take on the San Jose Sharks. So those are the games on Monday night and Tuesday night. The results from Monday games on Tuesday. And that is it for this episode, folks, of Locked On Capitals. I am your host, the Insider, Tyler Kuehl. Thank you very much for making Locked On Capitals your first listen and first watch of the day. Now go make Locked On Bets your second listen, where your boy Q and Lee Sterling give you expert analysis for all of your betting needs. You can follow us at Locked On Caps, guys, on Twitter. Follow me, the Insiders, Tyler Kuehl, at TJKU29. As you see there in the bottom of the screen, it's over there, not there, whatever. You see where it's at on the screen on YouTube. If you're listening on podcast, that's why I just said it, because so you guys know where to go. I also have a TikTok as well. I got a TikTok yesterday because my wife's been nagging me to get one. I finally got one. I may be posting some fun stuff on there. So at TJKU29 on TikTok as well. So in case you're curious, if you're one of those TikToking people, I'm sure some of you are, some of you aren't. That's okay. I got really strong-armed into it. So yeah, feel like checking it out. I may post stuff about hockey. I may post stuff about my cute dog who's passed out underneath the table right now, listening to me yammer on about the Capitals. So we'll be back tomorrow, and later on this week, we may have a couple guests to talk to regarding the Washington Capitals. So stay tuned for that before their game on Friday. That's their next game against Pittsburgh Penguins. So stay tuned, stay updated here on Locked On Caps, and we'll see you all tomorrow.